Welcome to Savvy Travel Hub. Today we're going to talk about how to read your boarding pass. This is the ticket to get on to the airplane. It's called your boarding pass, and this is what it looks like. So we're going to go over the different parts of the boarding pass so you can understand it. We're going to start on the left. The very first part we're going to look at is where it says the name of the airline, which in this case is American. So I'm going to go back to that page again to see where it says American in the top left corner. That's the part we're looking at right now. So there's the name of your airline. Next, you're going to have your passenger name, which this is my boarding pass, but I blanked out all my personal information on it. This is where you're going from and to. And this is your group number. You're probably wondering what that means. Your group number tells in what order you are going to actually get onto the airplane once it arrives and you're ready to get onto it. Now, the first group that loads is going to be the people that pay the most, the first class passengers. They're going to be in group one, and then the groups go down from there depending on mostly how much you pay for your ticket, or if you're a member of one of the airline's clubs, which I'll tell you about in a couple minutes. They have different clubs. You can join the elite club. You can have a credit card with the airline. You can be in their frequent flyer program, and all those things will help you to get a better group number. This here says class, and that's what I was talking about, first class, second class, and the airlines have their different designations for class. Each airline can do it however they want. I'm in class Y, which was just general boarding. I didn't pay any extra, so I ended up in class Y. Frequent flyer number. This is one of the airline's clubs, and this one is free to join. So you can become a frequent flyer even if you only fly one time. In fact, probably when you booked your ticket, they were asking you to join the frequent flyer program. And you just give them a minimal amount of information, and you can start earning points for each flight. And eventually, after a while, depending on how many flights you take, you can actually earn a free flight eventually. The record locator is your receipt. When you booked your flight on the airplane, you were given a record locator number. It's kind of like your confirmation number, and you've probably used this when you were looking up your airline online, but once you get to the airport, you shouldn't need that anymore. Every flight is given a number. This one has AA for American Airline. It usually has the airline designation the first and then a number. This number is important because you're going to need this number in order to know what gate to go to find your airplane. And we're going to talk about that next. The gate is a designated place in the airline terminal where you have a little seating area where you wait for your plane, and then the plane actually drives up to that little seating area, and it's attached to this flexible hallway that you walk through this hallway, and then you get onto the airplane. And that's at your gate. So each airplane arrives at a different gate, and you may have more than several airplanes will arrive at gate A20 throughout the day. But your airline is going to arrive there probably around about an hour or so before your flight. Gate A20. So we have an entire video on how to find your gate, because it starts from when you're driving into the airport. You have to find the building that your flight is going from, and then you have to find the seating area inside that building. For instance, at the Dallas airport that I flew out of, they had 4 buildings, A, B, C, D. Then inside those buildings, there's lots of seating areas. It can go up to a really high number. So I had to find building A and then gate 20. But if you want to know more about how to find your gate, then watch our video about finding your gate. It'll be really helpful. This is the time the plane departs. And I drew an arrow here because I wanted you to see that the boarding time is much earlier than the departing time. What is this about? 40, 50 minutes before the plane departs, you can start getting on the plane. Well, not you, unless you're in first class. Now, like I was saying, your group number determines when you get on the plane. So group 1 is going to get on the plane first, and they basically open the doors for them to get on at 9:37. So they can start getting on at that time. And then the other groups, group 2, group 3, and on like that until they finally call your group. And what happens is you're in the seating area and they'll call the group that group 1, and group 1 stands up, gets in a line, and then what you do is you have to give this boarding pass, or show it actually, to the gate agent, and then they will let you onto the airplane after they've scanned it. So if you get to the airport and there's already people in line to get on your airplane, don't panic, because you can see it's a long time between boarding and actually departing. But this is important up here. It says boarding ends 15 minutes before departure. They want everybody on the plane and settled in time for the plane to leave. So they want you to arrive at the gate at least 15 minutes before the plane departs, or they might not let you on. So let's say it leaves at 10:22, you get there at 10:20, they're probably not going to let you on. Sometimes you'll get lucky and the line, people are still in line to get on, but if you're too late, they won't let you on. So make sure you're on time. And the last thing is your seat number. So once you get onto the airplane, this is easy. You just walk down the row until you find your seat. And here is the boarding pass again. You can see all the information that I told you about. And I wanted to show you here, I put this dotted line here because I wanted to show you. On the left is all the information I told you about, and then on the right is less information, but some of the same information. Because in the past, the boarding pass was a piece of cardstock. It had a perforation on it, so they would tear it off and keep part of it, and then you would get that little part to take with you. But now, as you can see, there's a barcode. So now, for the most part, they just scan the barcode, let you go on with the whole piece of paper. Or perhaps you have your boarding pass on your phone, and it's the same thing. They just scan the barcode on your phone, and then you get onto the plane, and you get to, of course, keep your phone with you. So that's everything you want to know about reading the boarding pass. I just wanted to tell you about the flight number. If someone is picking you up at the airport, you can give them the flight number and they can track the airplane. So they can go and look and see, did it leave on time? Is it in the air? They can see when it arrives, and they can see what gate it arrives at. Because, of course, when I leave Dallas at a gate, it's not going to be the same number to the gate I arrive at. So the person they might ask you, well, what gate are you arriving at? You're not going to know that. You won't know that. They're going to have to look that up. You won't know that until you land. And then you look at it and you can see what gate you're at, which you could do it that way. But if they want to track it earlier and be ready to pick you up at the right gate, then they can use the flight number to track your flight. So I hope that helps, and good flying.